Hey everyone, Lennon here with LFI Digital Marketing, and I want to go over 7 ways on how market research is performed. Let's get right into it. So the first type is primary research. So this involves collecting data directly from the source. Now this can be done through surveys, focus groups, interviews, and other methods. Now, downside is that it can be pretty time consuming and costly to conduct. Now the next one is secondary research. So it's collecting data that has already been gathered and published by some other company or by someone else. So this information from industry reports, government statistics, and academic studies. Now the problem is it may not be as specific or up to date as primary research. The third type of market research is qualitative research. So this is focused more on collecting in-depth, open-ended information about people's attitudes, behaviors, and motivations. So think about, instead of data and stats, this is more on the person's, the human being themselves. Now this can be done through focus groups, interviews, and observations, and it's useful for understanding the underlying reasons behind people's attitudes, behaviors, and motivations. The opposite to that is the fourth kind of market research, quantitative research. Now, this has more of a focus on collecting numerical data that can be analyzed. Now, it can be done through surveys, experiments, and other methods, and this is useful for understanding trends and patterns in large groups of people. The fifth kind is exploratory research. So it's used to gather initial insights and generate ideas for further research. And just like with some of the other ones, it can be done through focus groups, interviews, and literature reviews. And it's useful for identifying potential areas of interest. So if you're trying to gather some information on the target audience that you have, this would be great to try to identify what potential areas of interest or what kind of things that they might be interested in the future or anything like that. Sixth kind is descriptive research. So it's used to describe characteristics of a population. And again, can be done through surveys, experiments, and observations. So if you have, the budget and the time and the resources to do one-on-one observations, this works great. And it is useful for understanding the characteristics and demographics of a particular group of people. The seventh and final kind is causal research. So this is used to determine the cause and effect relationship between variables. And this can be done through experiments and other methods, and it's useful for identifying the underlying factors that influence people's behaviors and decision making. So a couple of ways this can be done is, let's just say you're trying to interview a decision between having health related, for example, having either a donut or an apple. So you can have an experiment, go through different people and see what causes them to want either the donut or the apple. What's the cause of it and what's the effect? Or another way you can do this for causal research, when you're trying to determine the cause and effect between two variables, is between two people. If one person does something, how does the other person react to it? In marketing, let's just say you're doing some kind of social media ad, you can do an A/B test and see what the cause and effect is between those two. So let's say you have one ad with a different type of copy or headline or image, and you have another one that's completely different. You can take the data and determine what caused that data to be different from the other ad. So A/B tests are a really good example of causal research. So I hope this has been helpful. If you'd like to know anything else, leave me a comment down below or send me an email. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.